Welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast, your weekly dose of what's new and what's nude in movies, TV, and Hollywood's sexiest stars. Now get ready for your host, the world's foremost authority on celebrity nudity, Mr. Skin.
The legendary Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin. Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast, from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts, Mr. Skin and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast, and I am so excited for today's show because we're going to be doing one of my favorite things, and that's where we go through Mr. Skin's favorite things. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 of all time Skin's favorite nude scenes, and I cannot wait to dig right into this list. Hey Skin.
Hey, Andrea, how are you? Yeah,
I am fine.
Good. Well, yeah, I get asked a lot, what are my top 10 favorite nude scenes of all time? And I have to say, through the long period of time I've owned MrSkin.com, I've done, lists. I remember I did a top 100 list. We did a top 150 list. And what happens is, it's funny with these nude scenes. Sometimes they'll change a little and I'll reshuffle them, but almost every one of these of my top 10 favorite have been a top 10er for a number of years. And, also with nude scenes, they also kind of have to stand the test of time. Like sometimes I'll see a great nude scene, but it doesn't automatically get into my top 10 right away. I need to I need time to go back and look at it. It's like a fine wine, I need to just make sure that it holds serve over time. You know what I'm saying?
It's like if you can go back and appreciate it just as much as you did the first time, or maybe even more, then it's worthy of the list.
Yeah, and this list is always changing because new stuff comes out. Like if I would have made this list in 1999 when I started the website, a bunch of the nude scenes, or some of the nude scenes here wouldn't be on the list because they didn't exist then. So it does evolve, but as of right now, these are my 10 favorite. And Andrew, you'll probably know most of them or at least heard of them. But if not, you're going to get a great treat because these are really great. So let me start. We'll count it down from 10 to number 1. Mr. Skin, my favorite nude scenes of all time. Let me start with the greatest group shower scene in movie history, which is Porky's from 1982. Now, you've heard of this movie, I assume.
Of course, yes.
You're a little young, but I remember when this was actually in theaters. I remember a funny story. My girlfriend at the time, I was in college and she was a senior in high school, and she went to see this movie. I was away at college and she went to see this movie, and some guy was masturbating next to her when she was at the theater. Yeah, I know. That's she freaked out. I don't blame her, but that's what this movie did to people. But I remember it had I looked at IMDb once and it had like a $2.5 million budget back in 1982, and it made like $111 million. It's one of I had heard that it made more money. It was more profitable than even E.T. that year.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it was incredible. But it's one of the great teen sex comedies. It kind of kicked off that teen sex comedy craze. I still consider that 1980 to 85 the golden age of teen sex comedies, and this is one of the best. And
for sure,
this group shower scene that happened an hour and 2 minutes in was the big selling point of the movie. Every teenage boy's fantasy brought to life, especially a young Mr. Skin when I saw this movie, because what basically is happening is the guys at this is 1954, a high school in Florida, and these guys are at the high school, and all the girls are completely nude in the shower, and nobody famous here. Khaki Hunter would be the most famous, but none of the other girls. I don't even think we've ever ID'd the other girls, but they're all fully nude. A lot of bush, natural boobs, little towel spanking going on, and the guys have rigged a system where they can from the other side of the wall look through and, peepholes and see into the shower. And there was a very funny moment in here, Andrea, where one of the guys turns to the other two, including Pee-wee, and says, "So much wool you could knit a sweater." It's a classic line. And then there was actually, as this thing goes on, this fat Blubber McNeil blocks the view of Pee-wee, and he gets so frustrated that he yells, "Get out of the way, you fat ass!" And then all the girls know the boys are there, and it kind of ends the thing. But just a classic scene, and one of my favorite nude scenes of all time.
Yeah, it's a classic, and just like you said, we can every time I watch it, not only do I love it just as much, but I'm also able to hone in on new things I didn't notice before. I never noticed that one of the girls, or both of the girls actually on the far right, were sucking water in with their mouths out of the spout, the shower faucet, and were spitting it at each other. I never noticed that.
The good old days.
Crazy.
Yeah, the good old days. But yeah, so that's number 10 on my favorite nude scenes of all time, and that's from 1982, Porky's group shower scenes. Now, number 9 is a wild movie. It's called The Dreamers from 2003. It's Eva Green.
Oof, love her.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And she's probably best known. She was one of the Bond babes, Vesper Lynn in Casino Royale in 2006. She's a French actress. She's gorgeous, voluptuous. She's gone on to do a number of things since this movie came out. But back in 2003, this movie, The Dreamers, it was directed by that Bernardo Bertolucci, who made the all-time sex and nudity classic Last Tango in Paris in 1972. And for me, this girl is everything I love. Beautiful.
She's perfect.
Big natural boobs, bush, crazy. And Andrew, what's weird about this? So that's Michael Pitt being held in this scene. Now, I want to say, first of all, there's a ton of different great nude scenes in this. I just pulled this scene just so you get a taste, but I could have grabbed 5 or 6 different scenes, but this one in particular is amazing because Michael Pitt is the guy in the middle there, and that's her brother. That's her brother holding him, and it's this weird incestuous bisexual threesome with her own brother in this. It's really weird, but in this scene, she is completely nude. The brother's holding Michael Pitt, and you're not seeing the whole scene because she gets on her knees and then pulls Michael Pitt's pants down, and we see full penis, and he has a picture of her attached to in his underwear. It's a weird scene, but bottom line is it takes a while to get Michael ready for the action. But Eva Green is so naked and so hot in this, and it's number 9 on my greatest nude scenes list. But I just absolutely love this movie for nudity too.
I am so with you. It does not get better in my eyes than Eva Green fully naked. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I hear you. So, anyway, so that's number 9 on my list. But number 8 on my favorite nude scenes of all time. This was just always been, ever since I first saw this in 1990, I loved it. It's Jennifer Connelly when she was 19 years old in the hot spot, the scene at the hour and 26-minute mark. And it's
another one of my faves.
Yeah, you remember. I used to always tell people, if there was a place in the dictionary or a place you could go to say, what are perfect breasts? You'd say Jennifer Connelly when she was 19 years old in the hot spot. But this was like a modern film noir set in the Deep South starring Don Johnson. It was actually directed by Dennis Hopper. And prior to the hot spot, Jennifer Connelly was best known as kind of a child actress. She was in that Career Opportunities movie. Super hot, but we didn't, we didn't
know what was going on under all those clothes.
Oh my God. And this to me is one of the greatest nude sunbathing scenes ever. But there's also some little lesbian implications here with Deborah Cole, the girl next to her. And what's amazing is Virginia Madsen also did tremendous nudity in this movie, but it's overshadowed by this great nude scene at the hour and 26-minute mark where this guy's trying to blackmail Jennifer Connelly, and he takes pictures of her sunbathing with her her friend here, and oh my God, is this a hot scene with Jennifer Connelly topless at the beach? And by the way, Andrew, we're not showing you in this thing, but she also turns over, and we get like a distant rear burger shot too. She's completely naked. It's so hot.
How much I love the rear burger shots.
I know you do.
I live for them.
I know you do. So,
thanks. Thank you, Skin.
Yeah, number 8 is Jennifer Connelly in The Hot Spot is my 8th favorite nude scene of all time. Now, number 7 is one, it's more recent movie, but you know, when I say stood the test of time, it's time has enough time has eclipsed where I know this will always be one of my favorites. It's Blue is the Warmest Color from 2013, the great 9-minute lesbian scene between Adele Exarchopoulos and Lea Seydoux at the hour and 20-minute mark. And I mean, this is the greatest non-hardcore, you know, I mean, it's actually is hardcore, but it's the greatest, without question, the greatest lesbian scene of all time, because it's essentially is a hardcore porn lesbian scene. And these two girls are incredibly beautiful. The stuff you're seeing, Andrea, is just a taste, no pun intended, of 9 minutes of incredible action. And this is a mainstream movie that played at the Cannes Film Festival. And we're talking like in a mainstream film to see a scene like this is just
unreal.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And it's so hot. I mean, honestly, I'm getting a little turned on just watching this tiny clip. So
and believe me, we got 9 full minutes of this. So anyway, if you haven't seen the scene in Blue is the Warmest Color, if you're a fan of girl action, this is the greatest of all time, and it came in at number 7 on my greatest favorite nude scenes of all time. Now, number 6. Yes. So number 6 is Mimi Rogers in Full Body Massage from 1995, which was a made for, I believe it was Showtime movie at the time. And Mimi Rogers, well, first of all, she has just these ginormous natural boobs, and she's beautiful. And people forget she was married to Tom Cruise at early in his career.
When
they
he
were
wasn't
married.
a freak.
When he wasn't a freak. So anyway, but this movie is basically, the entire movie is in essence one long perfect Mimi Rogers nude scene from beginning to end. And all she does is lay there on a massage table and basically talk to Brian Brown. You might remember him. He was actually coincidentally in the movie with Tom Cruise, Cocktail, that movie from the 80s when she was married to Tom Cruise. But I mean, I could have taken so many different scenes. This one at the hour and 5-minute mark.
Oh no, this is perfect.
Oh my God. So he's just oiling up these ginormous natural boobs in the massage room. Now there's no towel, no anything. She's just laying there completely naked, and he's it's like he's like a baker working some big loaves of bread. It is one of the most, for I don't want to call her an A-list actress, but she's pretty well known.
I would say, A-list, for sure.
Well, an actress like this, to let a guy just do that to her boobs is just, I mean, you just don't see this in a mainstream movie. It's just ridiculous.
No. And it's so funny because I've seen most of the things that, you know, we discuss or that you bring to my attention, whether it was, you know, formerly on the show with you, talking about something else that was related to, but I don't know that I've ever seen this exact clip, and I am blown away because, this masseuse's hands just go around and around and around. I mean, you really don't realize how big her boobs are until, like, oh gosh, you see it in comparison to the size of the hand, and you get it.
How great!
They're amazing.
I mean, Brian Brown, like, you know, that his job throughout this whole movie, you know, take or cut, we got to do that again. All right, just knead those big natural boobs for as long as you need to. It is, and
there's
he's got
no
oil
way
on his,
he didn't have a boner the whole time.
Yeah, luckiest man in show business, Brian Brown, to be able to do this movie in 1995.
Career highlight. I mean, there's nothing more enjoyable than, can you rub some perfect boobs and get paid for it?
No,
come on.
I got you. It's fantastic. Wow. So that's number 6, Mimi Rogers in Full Body Massage. If you haven't seen this, please go to MrSkin.com or MrSkinPodcast.com to check it out.
And now it's time for our Porn Star Spotlight of the Week from Cherry Pimps and PornStars.com. Hi, Darcy. How are you, gorgeous?
I'm good.
Skin, I don't know if you realize the amount of talent and greatness that is sitting at our table with us right now, but Darcy Dolce, just won Girl Performer of the Year.
That's fantastic. I mean, in this day and age, that's saying something.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's dope to be recognized like for your hard work and your scenes. Yeah, it was dope.
Was there a specific scene that you think really sealed the deal for the win?
A lot of them. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, like, you know, you're having sex with people, so not every single scene you shoot is going to be, oh my God, it was so good. Because not every person we've all had sex with was amazing. But but there are some that, yeah, like, we banged out a bomb-ass scene.
I love that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do with another girl?
I like kissing a lot. And then, like, when it builds up, like, kind of roughhousing. Not roughhousing, but you know what I mean. Like, sex roughhousing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So not only is she a winner, but she's also a nominee for Lesbian Performer of the Year here at AV Ed. So I don't know. It seems like we have Girl Performer of the Year. Seems very fitting that you'd win Lesbian Performer of the Year.
I fucking hope so. I really hope so. I think that'd be really cool.
Do you have a celebrity, like a movie lesbian scene or a girl scene that you think is really hot?
Of course. What's the one
Bound?
with Matt? No. Oh, no, Bound was good. No, Wild Thing.
Oh, well, that's a three-way.
No, but those two were
They were kissing in the sink, or in the sink, in the pool.
I like that movie. Yeah. That movie's great.
I think it changed a lot of people's lives, especially young girls. When we see that, we're like, okay, there's these two banging babes making out. It's super fucking hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was like weird for that time,
Absolutely.
too, even though that wasn't that long ago. But yeah, that
was 20
like,
years
whoa.
ago now. 1997, 20 years ago.
That's fucking insane.
That doesn't even seem real. No,
That
it
doesn't
can't be
seem
20
real.
years ago.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. Holy shit. Over 20 years ago. It's 2018.
Yeah.
Wow. So obviously you're a huge adult star. Tell us about the camming life.
Camming life, you know, camming is great. I know you can make a lot of money. I've done it, but I don't do it regularly, and I should. But
if you're doing so well in adult and you're loving it and you're a huge award winner, it's almost kind of like stay where you're at. Strike while the iron's hot, and your iron is hot, girl.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I just feel like I don't have, I mean, of course there's always time to do all that stuff, but I'm also a DJ too. I've been a DJ longer than I've been in the business, and I recently started producing music. And I feature dance, and I shoot, and I also direct for Philly films. So.
No time for camming.
No, camming. It's hard to make time. But if you do have time, fucking do it, because you can make a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's just like these guys tip these girls, and they're not even physically there. It's dope, but it trips me out. It's like that Bitcoin shit. It's like, what is this?
So let's talk about crypto. Have you bought? No, just kidding.
Are there any billionaire cam
I don't
stars?
understand it.
Gosh,
like I get it, but I don't understand it.
If someone wants to tip me in Bitcoin, yes, and we'll call it Tipcoin. Actually, maybe we could start that as a new cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
There's new ones popping up every day. Make it happen, Skin. Make
Working
it happen.
on it.
Tipcoin. Maybe that's when I'll finally make the foray.
Working on it.
I can be the maiden voyage of see if it works. We'll use me as the beta test.
That's so funny.
So what is your favorite thing to do? Is it girl, or do you like other stuff on camera?
Like in porn camera?
Yeah.
I like taking pictures a lot. Like I started how old was I? I was like 12 when I started doing like regular modeling. So I've always like taking pictures, and then doing the dialogue stuff too is fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously not only are you a wonderful performer, you're a huge award winner, but you're really beautiful. So I'm sure like modeling has really helped you be a better adult model and actress because you've been in front of the camera.
I did mainstream stuff before. So how I got in, I met Holly Randall through a mutual friend trying to do Playboy.
Boom, baby.
Yeah.
You know her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Holly's awesome.
Yeah, she's super rad. She's super smart. She knows how to take a amazing photo. And she only works with dope ass talent. So Darcy clearly is dope ass talent.
Thank you.
So what happened with the Playboy stuff?
Well, at the time, it didn't work out at the time, but I was talking to her. I was like, well, I've thought about doing girl or solos. And she said, oh, let me see what I could do. And she ended up getting me 2 solos for Twisties, and I've been working ever since.
That's so cool.
And then I got Playboy plus Cybergirl like 2 years. It was actually 2 years ago to the day that I had met her. We had did the Playboy shoot. She said, girl, oh my God, I saw on my Facebook that we had met exactly 2 years ago. It was the day we were shooting for Playboy Plus.
So
and I was
cool.
already in the industry for a little. It was about a year ago we shot it.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That's
I thought
so weird.
I was like, you're shitting me. She said, no.
That's so cool. It seems like you do a little bit of everything. So now you're directing and doing all this other stuff. What do you...
I've been directing actually for a while. I was in the business like 6 months, and Dion at Philly Films was really cool. And he was like, yeah, if you ever want to direct, let us know. And I have a husband. I went home and I was like, yeah. They were like, oh, you should direct. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. So he's like, well, let's go direct. Let's do it. I was like, okay. And we just finished our 5th movie for them. So
That's fantastic.
yeah.
Well, you have a full life, girl. I'm like,
Yeah.
she's doing everything, and she's doing everything well.
She's a skin of sense girl.
Yes, I love it. Well, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you. Everyone,
Likewise.
check her out everywhere. Darcy Dolce, but especially Cherry Pimps and pornstars.com. You want to throw out your social?
Yeah, everything is at DJ Darcy Dolce on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, and Snapchat. Am I missing one? OnlyFans?
Basically, find her. And if you don't need any adult, she has music she can do for
Yeah.
you, too.
Yeah,
Because
and I'm
you-
looking at that SoundCloud link right there on your banner. Yeah,
Very
I'm on
cool.
SoundCloud too.
We're neighbors.
We are neighbors.
Well, thanks, Darcy. We wish
Thank
you a
you.
beautiful rest of your day.
yeah, you too.
Thanks, Darcy.
Okay, so now we're down to my 5 favorite nude scenes of all time, and
Okay.
you obviously are going to know all, if not most of these, but let me say with number 5 is also the most famous nude scene of all time. It's Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct, the famous leg cross scene at the 27-minute mark, and everyone knows this scene. The movie was directed by Paul Verhoeven, who followed up this movie by making the all-time, my number 1 movie, Showgirls in
Showgirls.
1995. Yeah. And think of this now. Sharon Stone's leg crossing scene is really a first. So
Yeah.
there had been like lip slips, accidental stuff. I could name a few times it was accidental, but I mean, an A-list actress in a blockbuster movie intentionally flashing labia to the camera. Come on. I mean, everyone, this is like, where were you when Kennedy was assassinated? Or
Exactly.
9/11. Everyone knows when they first saw this scene. And it's,
Yeah.
it's just for an A-list actress to do this. And don't forget, I mean, she's a household name, Sharon Stone. And it really is incredible that she did this. And I can't compare it to any nude scene as far as, what she did. I name an A-list actress that ever did something like this.
I don't even know
before.
a B or C actress that has
Right,
done
right.
anything like this in a big mainstream movie. Like, this is groundbreaking. It's unparalleled. It's ridiculous. And I'm just so, so, so grateful for Blu-ray.
And, yes, yeah, I should
I'll
mention.
let you talk about that, Skin, but I'm
Well-
so grateful for it because I've never been able to freeze and like go backward and forward and really see everything until the Blu-ray came out.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because back when this movie was out and you rented it at Blockbuster, you'd go to rent it and then you'd be watching the scene. It'd be all wiggly at that point because every guy that rented that movie was pausing it, right? And then the movie came out on DVD and it was a little easier to see, and that was cool. And then Blu-ray came 6 times the resolution of DVD. Now you could really enjoy that scene, which you're looking at right now from our website. And then funny too, if you're a Seinfeld fan, you might recognize Newman there sweating bullets checking her out. So it's pretty incredible. And then I remember when the Blu-ray of this movie came to our office, it was a big moment when we all stood around the computer and watched this scene for the first time in like high def. And it was awesome. So, Sharon Stone, Basic Instinct, my 5th favorite nude scene of all time. And, also, in my opinion, the most famous nude scene of all time.
We
Celebrity
are
nude scene.
We're 6 down into this top 10 list, and my mind has been blown again and again. I'm like, how and where is this list going to go?
Well,
because we've already done it up so hard. Okay, take me to foreskin. Take me to number 4.
Take me to foreskin. Number 4 is Halle Berry in Monsters Ball, the sex scene with Billy Bob Thornton from 2001 at the hour and 13-minute mark. And this is the greatest rumored real sex scene of all time. In other words, it was so realistic. People think that he really was putting penis in vagina when he was banging her from behind and going at it. Don't forget, she won the Best Actress Academy Award for Monsters Ball, and the other thing, that same year was when the movie Swordfish came out with John Travolta.
Yes.
I remember that, and there was that rumor that she made $500,000 extra for doing the topless sunbathing scene. 250 per boob was the joke, and it was incredible. But this scene, where her and Billy Bob Thornton are going at it. And by the way, this scene also goes on for quite some time. You're just seeing, the banging scene, but it is so realistic, as we mentioned, and it's a gorgeous A-list actress. And it doesn't get much better than this. And this is my 4th favorite nude scene of all time.
Yeah, super graphic, super rough, super just kind of wrong in the rightest way. So what is your personal opinion, Skin? Do you think that Billy Bob's wiener actually went in? No, I don't think so either.
No, and listen.
People are so adamant about it, though. Like, they were willing to bet the farm on it, I'm like,
the problem with all these in history, and I'm sure it's happened and whatever, but the problem is, for us to know for sure, we'd have to see penis entering vagina, and guess what? Right. They can't show that in a mainstream movie. So we have to take the word of the people on the set or the actors and actresses, and unless they admit it, and at least which they would not, rarely. I can't think of a time where they would. If they admitted it, then maybe we might believe it, but we can't see it for ourselves, or it would be a porno and a porn movie. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be a mainstream film. So
it's like, I don't put it past Billy Bob to do it, but I don't think Halle Berry would let herself be fucked on camera. You know what I'm saying? I think it just shows what good actors they are.
There's lighting guys, and there's a director and all that. I mean, we're seeing what seems to be an intimate moment, but it's surely not intimate. There's lots of people in the room, so we have to be realistic, and you can't don't fall for the just because they because
it looks like it. They're just good actors.
I know that's what good actors do. So
I mean, it's an Oscar-winning performance. So obviously, and I will say, if your chick is this good in bed, she might be
if she
in the wrong career.
Being this good in bed, she's probably this good in bed, right?
Yeah, well, that's great too. Yes.
So
I mean,
I
Monsters
agree.
Ball though, straight up.
Yeah, so Monsters Ball, Halle Berry is my 4th favorite nude scene of all time, and number 3 is the newest one to my list that 5 years ago didn't exist on the list, but has made it all the way up to number 3, because the more I see it, the more blown away I am. And it's Alexandra Daddario in True Detective, the TV show, and it's from season 1, episode 2, when they had Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. And people ask me a lot, like, because of what I do, when you see a nude scene, are you just like jaded, where you just you're not like as excited as you were before? And I got to tell you, I remember watching this with my wife, because we liked True Detective that season, and we were watching the second episode. It was in January of 2015. And the second I saw the scene, I turned to her and go, now this is in January. I said, this is without a doubt going to be the best nude scene of the year. At the time, I didn't think, I didn't realize, of all time, but I knew instinctively it was going to be the best nude scene of that year. But I gotta say, over time, the more I've seen it, this is better. This is just shot up the charts. As Alexandra Daddario, it's unbelievable.
She is unbelievable, and I just cannot wait to see more and more from her. I hope that Alexandra Daddario beats herself on this top 10 list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because anytime we can see her naked again in such great glory, front to back, same scene, moving around. I mean, she is something else, unparalleled when it comes to boobs, for sure. And also just her complete package is phenomenal.
Yeah, and she has a good attitude. Like she won.
She does.
She won our Whack It bracket a little while ago, and and she actually, when we posted it on Twitter, and then she actually said something really cool about all those guys that, didn't think much of her in high school and college, cry those salty tears. She had fun about it. Like, hey, I won the Mr. Skin Whack-A-Bracket. That's pretty cool. So, and she also has a great sense of humor about what the scene. And I remember she posted something when Obama was president, and he said that him and his wife watched the first season of True Detective. They really enjoyed it, and she posted something where she said, "Hey, the president has seen my breasts," and I thought that was pretty funny. So that's someone with
awesome.
That's someone with a great attitude. So that's cool. Number 3 on the my favorite nude scenes of all time. Now, number 2 is one that I just, again, has stood the test of time and also blew me away the first time I saw it, and still to this day I absolutely love. It's Kelly Preston in the teen sex comedy Mischief from 1985. She, of course, married to John Travolta, and this is one of the great 1980s teen sex comedies. It stars Doug McKeon. He's the kid from On Golden Pond, and Kelly is the gorgeous girl next door. Now, she was probably about 20 or 21 when they filmed this. So what's crazy is, like, he's kind of the nerdy geek at the school, and somehow, some way, he's able to hook up with her, and his scene is so realistic about just what it would be like to be the nerd, to be able to be with
just
the hottest girl from school, and he undresses her. Yeah, and he undresses her in her bedroom, and it's the natural light.
Yes.
And
natural light on natural boobs.
Oh my God. And she is, and you don't see here in what we're showing you, where after she strips completely nude in front of this guy, she gets in the bed and shows full bush, and oh my God. So here she is now, years later. She's best known for being married to John Travolta and all this Scientology stuff and what's going on with that. But to this day, this is one of my favorite nude scenes of all time. And I'll tell you what, we did a thing at our website one year where we had people vote on the greatest nude scenes of all time. And I'm not the only one that thinks this scene is spectacular. Guys love this scene, Kelly Preston in Mischief from 1985.
You know what? I'm getting an idea for a new list. Wives of Scientologists. Because you got Mimi Rogers, you have Katie Holmes, you have Kelly Preston. I'm sure there's so many more.
Yeah, they'll give you an L. Ron Rubbard. An L. Ron Rubhard. Yeah,
hey, at least you'll get something good out of that,
Yeah. So anyway, if you haven't seen this scene, it really is.
It's phenomenal. Yeah. And if you've never seen Kelly Preston's boobs, you have to check this out. And if you think they're good, now you should see them when she is 20, 21 years old, 1985. Incredible.
Yeah. So anyway, I really obviously love that because that's number 2 on my list. But Andrea, we are down to my number 1 favorite nude scene of all time. And when I launched the website in 1999, this was my favorite. When people have asked me throughout the years, what is your favorite nude scene of all time? I've never varied on this. This has always been number 1. It's Phoebe Cates in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
100%.
Even the first time I saw it in 1982, it was my favorite nude scene of all time. The scene at the 51 minute mark. And I have to say, this is probably the greatest teen sex comedy of all time. All the huge
of all times, yeah.
Oh, think of all the Sean Penn, Forrest Whitaker, Judge Reinhold, tons of other people in this movie. Phoebe Cates, just so many
so much star power before they were stars.
Yeah, that went on to huge careers from this movie. But it's funny, Phoebe Cates kind of quit show business about, I want to say, probably 25 years ago or so, and she never made another movie.
Why?
But she
didn't have any intel?
Well, she got married, obviously, to Kevin Kline, and it was just a decision she made. She's still, she's socially active. She hasn't hidden from.
Okay. She's not a recluse.
She's not a recluse, no, but just got away from movies, and you probably just retired to raise her kids. But I got to tell you, for a while there, with Private School, Fast Times, a movie she did called Paradise with Willie Ames, where she got completely naked. There was like a 2 to 3 year window where Phoebe Cates did some outstanding nudity, but this scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High is one of the greats. I remember Amy Heckerling was doing Gilbert Gottfried's podcast. She was talking about directing this scene, and she said that Phoebe didn't want to do it.
Right.
And she just instinctively knew, like, no, we have to do this scene because it's so important for the movie. And thank God Phoebe Cates did it. And you also got to remember at the time, Phoebe Cates was like, do you remember like Teen Beat magazine? Did they have that when you were? Yeah. So like she was the girl that was on the cover of all these like teen magazines and stuff. And all the guys were really into her back in this era, and for her to do this in an R-rated movie was extra special. And you combine that with the cars moving in stereo playing behind, the fantasy thing about the fact that Judge Reinhold's working the gavel. All these things come into play. It's a perfect setup. Great movie, beautiful girl, the top of her game, moving in stereo music. I mean, everything about it, even the water flying around, it's all just nakedly magical. It's all I could say. Yeah,
it could not be one iota better than it is. It's just, it's that mystical, magical perfection. Just, it's amazing.
Yeah. So it's, again, I haven't had any nude scene ever that has replaced Phoebe Cates in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but this is without question my number one. So Andrea, this is really fun for me because, like I said, I get asked a lot. Yeah, I get asked a lot about what are my favorite nude scenes of all time, and like I said, this stuff it changes from time to time, but as of now, these are my 10 favorites, and hopefully some others will sneak in there in the years to come. But these 10 are the golden 10 of my favorite nude scenes ever. So.
Well, I'm with you, and it is fun for me to see your list kind of evolve and change so ever so slightly over the years, and see what new stuff crops in and bumps old stuff out. And I want to implore our listeners, if you have any ideas for some top 10 lists you want to see, give us a call, 484-SKIN-POD, and maybe it'll be better than my top 10 Scientology wives idea.
Where they show their beards, right?
Exactly. Yes. Oh my God, I love it. Well, that was a super fun show. I'm super amped up, and now I have 10 movies that I definitely need to rent right now, but better yet, I'll just go to MrSkin.com and just watch the good parts. All right, everyone, have a great week.
You're awesome, Andrew. Take care.
Bye.
This concludes another scintillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.